The action begins on a gloomy autumn day. The sky above the city is covered with heavy, grey clouds, through which the light barely breaks through. The main character is Andriy, an ordinary 30-year-old man who lives a routine life full of daily duties and dull entertainment. During an ordinary walk, he notices a small bookstore on the outskirts, which he has never seen before. For some reason, this store attracts him. A feeling of strange curiosity and inevitability prompts him to cross the threshold. The interior of the store is semi-dark, and the air is filled with the smell of old paper and dust. There are books on the shelf with yellowed pages and heavy, cracked covers. His attention is drawn to one old book, the appearance of which frightens and at the same time fascinates. The cover is dark, as if made of old leather. There is no title or author's name on it, only a small inscription on the spine, embossed in gold, "The Book of Your Life." Andriy carefully opens it. On the first page, he sees his name, as well as the date and place of birth. At first he thinks it's just a coincidence, but as he continues to read, he realizes that the pages describe his childhood, youth, and even the smallest moments of his daily life, right up to the present moment. It scares him and at the same time makes him go on. But then Andriy reaches the part where the events that have not yet happened are described. It is written in detail about the chain of random events that will destroy his life. He learns that in a few days there will be an accident at work, and in another month an illness that will threaten his life. And the worst thing is that in one of the chapters it is written about the terrible death of his beloved, Elena. Confused and scared, Andriy decides to try to change these events. The next day, knowing about the accident, he avoids his usual route to work, hoping to avoid the book's prediction. However, the book, as if alive, changes the chapter, entering a new sequence of events. She describes another accident that occurs on a new route. He cannot escape what is written. The book adapts to his every move, rewriting his fate on the pages as soon as he tries to change something. The more Andriy tries to prevent misfortune, the more dire the consequences become. With each reading, the book shows scenes that are more and more reminiscent of eerie dreams. His apartment, where the door closes by itself, voices in the night whisper his name, the ghosts of his relatives who come to him in reflections. The climax comes when Andriy tries to burn the book, but it does not burn. He feels that the book wants him to read to the last page. It says how he will find himself in the bookstore where it all began, and complete the circle, becoming part of this strange system, the new owner of the store, doomed to pass the book on to the next victim. Andriy, overcome with fear and despair, throws the book on the floor. It seems to him that her cover is looking at him ominously, as if inviting him back to his tent. He leaves the store and decides never to return. The next few days pass in turmoil. Andriy convinces himself that this is just a whimsical coincidence, delusion, or even a joke. But when the prophecy from the book begins to come true word for word, his hope is dashed. He decides to take the book again to see how everything can be prevented. When he returns to the store, a strange salesman he hadn't noticed before is standing behind the counter. The man is gray-haired, with an empty, motionless gaze that seems to look into Andriy's soul. The seller silently points to the shelf where the same book is lying, as if waiting for him. Andriy takes the book and turns the pages again, seeing new prophecies. This time, the scene is described where he, in a panic, tries to save his beloved Elena. But with each page, he realizes that his every step leads to an even greater tragedy. The book already shows him standing in the cemetery, looking at the tombstone, and in his hands again. The book. Maddened by terror, Andriy decides to turn to a mystical fortune-teller in the hope that he will help break the connection with the book. The fortune-teller listens carefully to his story and warns, the book will always find its way to the one who opened it. She chooses her victim and absorbs her life. The only way to avoid this is to give the book to another person who will read it and take the first step towards change. But that would mean condemning another soul to a torment similar to his own. Andriy is tormented by a difficult choice. He cannot condemn someone else to suffering, but he could not continue to live in this nightmare. Finally, he decides to meet with Elena, tell her everything and ask for support. But when he comes to her, it turns out that the book has already affected her. Eleanor does not recognize him, as if someone erased her memory of Andriy. From this, it becomes clear that the book is eating away at all connections, burning his life from the inside as he tries to get rid of it. Left alone and in despair, Andriy returns to the same bookstore. The salesman, who now looks even older, silently hands him the book, as if to let him know it's time to finish the last chapter. Having decided on the last step, Andriy opens the last page. It says that he will become the new owner of the shop, and his face will gradually take on the look that once frightened him, the face of a gray-haired salesman, whose blank stare will be a legacy for new visitors. The last words he sees in the book say, "Your destiny is now sealed. You are a keeper, and you will wait for the next person to read the book of their life."